Imagine walking through an ancient Scottish forest, bathed in sunlight and silence, when suddenly an overwhelming sense of dread washes over you, not because of something you see, but because of something you feel. In 1942, a woman experienced exactly that, and what she wrote in a wartime letter has remained buried until now. This is the chilling story no one talks about, but you're about to. When I read stories like this, I get really angry. I feel like there are things happening all around us, just beyond our perception. Occasionally, these experiences bleed into our reality, and when we read or hear about them, it sparks so many questions. Why aren't more people talking about this? Why haven't I heard of this before? It's truly incredible. Yet sadly, some stories remain hidden until we uncover them together. Today I want to share one such story with you. It began with a wartime letter published on February 27, 1942, written by a reader who identified herself simply as Oates from Surrey. In Scotland last year, while walking through an ancient forest with my husband, we decided to take a shortcut through the wild glen, heading towards Killin Forest along the banks of the Killin. As we moved deeper into the forest, everything became quieter. Eventually, we reached a clearing, a wide open space that was strangely flat and treeless, filled with a hazy sunlight. My husband paused, turning to me and saying, "I don't like this place. It feels old and lifeless." Initially, I intended to reassure him that it felt peaceful, but before I could speak, a heavy wave of despair washed over me. Suddenly, it wasn't a sunny clearing around me anymore. Instead, I was overwhelmed by visions of snow-covered ground under a heavy dark sky. Behind me, I sensed people, dozens of them, standing silently, their faces drawn and their eyes utterly devoid of hope. My husband quickly noticed my fear. He took my arm, urging me out of the clearing. When we finally reached Killin Forest, we shared our strange experience with locals at our hotel. A gentleman named Mr. Alistair Stewart casually remarked, "Oh yes, that place. That's where an entire village vanished during a harsh winter. Everyone starved to death." Neither my husband nor I have ever considered ourselves psychic or sensitive to spirits. Still, this experience shook me deeply. One thing became absolutely clear. Even if chased by Hitler and his terrible gang, I would never willingly enter that forest again. Imagine the scene, a couple strolling hand in hand through Scotland's breathtaking landscapes. If you've been to Scotland, you know the kind of beauty I'm talking about. The rugged hills, mystical glens, and peaceful lakes that seem timeless and untouched. Yet beneath that beauty often lies something more mysterious and haunting. Legends, myths, and hidden histories have shaped Scottish culture for generations. The place Oates described, Killin Forest, barely appears on modern maps or searches. It's almost as if the forest itself wants to remain hidden. The only clear mention I could find was on a travel blog from 2010, highlighting the presence of ancient standing stones and megalithic tombs in the surrounding area. Perhaps these ancient structures are remnants of something forgotten, something powerful enough to leave a lasting emotional impression. While researching this story, I found myself repeatedly wondering, could it be true? Could such a vivid experience really occur without historical documentation? Despite exhaustive research, no official records support the claim of an entire village vanishing into the snow. Yet, the vividness of the emotional imprint described by Oates feels authentic, too raw to dismiss, as mere imagination. It's crucial to understand that this isn't necessarily a classic ghost story. Oates never explicitly states that the forest is haunted by spirits or apparitions. Instead, her account suggests something even more intriguing. Places might be capable of absorbing and holding intense emotional events, replaying them for sensitive visitors. Think of it as a place saturated with emotion, particularly despair and hopelessness. Every now and then, visitors who unknowingly step into this emotional trap might experience echoes of that deep despair. It's as if the forest itself holds memories, waiting silently for someone to stumble upon its hidden past. Personally, I don't believe Oates and her husband experienced a typical psychic event. Rather, I believe they accidentally stepped into one of these emotional echoes, a powerful, almost physical imprint of a tragic historical event. The intensity of her experience was strong enough to compel her to share it publicly, even in the midst of wartime Britain. This brings us to a fascinating concept: premonitions. Typically defined as a strong intuitive feeling about an emotionally significant event, premonitions hover in the mysterious middle ground between psychic phenomena and everyday intuition. Could Oates' experience fall into this category? Before I close, a quick observation. Describing Hitler as grisly struck me as an unusual choice. Hitler was indeed horrifying and ruthless, but the word grisly conjures up an image of a wild beast, when in truth, Hitler was coldly calculated and disturbingly methodical. Still, I understand the intention was to highlight his monstrous nature. What do you think about Oates' experience? Was this couple sensitive enough to perceive the lingering echoes of past suffering? Or was it simply an intense premonition? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Here at Sounds of the Unknown, we unravel stories exactly like this. Hidden mysteries, unexplained events, and chilling true accounts from around the world. If you enjoyed diving into this story with me, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. Together, we'll continue uncovering the secrets hidden just beyond our perception. Until our next story, stay curious, stay vigilant, and keep exploring the unknown.